Microsoft introduced the ribbon in Office 2007, and now Project 2010 joins the party. Although the ribbon takes up a lot more space on the screen than the old menu bar, it also holds a lot more commands. The Project ribbon makes a lot of tasks much easier to perform because the commands are on the ribbon instead of buried deep in a dialog box somewhere. The ribbon has several tabs which act like the top-level entries on the old menu bar. And because managing projects focuses mainly on projects, tasks, and resources, the ribbon tabs in Project make perfect sense. You'll learn about how to put commands to work in the rest of this course. When you first launch Project, the program opens to the Task tab. We go to the Microsoft Office menu and double-click Project 2010. You can see the Task tab opens. Click a tab to show that tab's commands on the ribbon. The Resource tab, Project tab, View tab, and so on. The File tab is like the File menu on the old menu bar. You can manage files from this tab, but it offers a lot more than that, as you'll learn in a later movie. The Task tab is teeming with task-related commands. The View section helps you choose the task-oriented view you want. The Clipboard section lets you copy, paste, and cut tasks. The Schedule section lets you create links between tasks, move tasks around in the levels of the outline, and update task progress. The Tasks section lets you change tasks between manually and auto-scheduled mode, review tasks with the Task Inspector, or move tasks in the schedule. The Insert section has commands for creating regular tasks, summary tasks, milestones, and recurring tasks. The Properties section has a button for opening the Task Information dialog box. And in the Editing section, click Scroll to Task to move the time scale so you can see the taskbar for the selected task. The Resource tab has a View section for choosing resource views. The commands that are active on the tab depend on the view you select. If the resource sheet is visible, you can click Add Resources to get resources into your file in several ways. If a task or assignment view is open, like the Gantt chart or task usage, you can click Assign Resources to assign resources to tasks. The Properties section lets you look at resource information, notes, or resource details. The Level section has commands for leveling assignments in several ways to remove overallocations, as you learn in a later movie. The Project tab focuses on project-wide activities like setting up a work breakdown structure, defining the working time, and setting baselines. You can insert sub-projects or create links between tasks in separate projects. You can also access custom fields. You can update project status, or you can run reports. You can tell Project to show exactly what you want to see with the View tab. In addition to commands for choosing the view you want, you can choose a table, apply highlighting, choose filters, or groups. Customize the time scale to show the calendar to the level of detail you want. Or you can tell Project to display the timeline view, as it is here. In Project 2010, you can hide or display the Details pane, that's the bottom view in a combination view, and tell Project which view you want to see in that pane. The Window section has commands for opening another window, arranging the open windows, switching between windows, or closing them. One outcast on the View tab is the Macros command, which lets you run or work with macros. The Format tab is a chameleon. It changes commands based on the view you have open. For example, when the Gantt chart is visible, the Format tab has commands for formatting taskbars, showing critical tasks, baselines, Slack, and so on. You can show or hide the project summary task or other summary tasks at any level. If a usage view, like task usage, is visible, the Format tab has checkboxes for the fields you want to see in the time-phased grid, like work, and actual cost. If I open the timeline view, go to the View tab, turn on the timeline checkbox, and then click in the timeline pane to make it active. The Format tab has commands for adding tasks and callouts to the timeline or formatting parts of the timeline. As you start using Project 2010, take some time to look at the Format tab when different views are active. It's a treasure trove of view management commands. The ribbon can do a few tricks. You can reduce the amount of space the ribbon takes up, or tell it to show you keyboard shortcuts so you can keep your fingers on the keys. If you make your project program window smaller, the ribbon adjusts sections and buttons to fit. On the Task tab, the Insert section has buttons for inserting several types of commands. If you make the window narrower, the Insert section shrinks to a single Insert button. When you click it, you see a submenu of the individual insert commands. You can also collapse the ribbon so it hides until you click a tab. Right-click on the ribbon and choose Minimize the ribbon. All you see are the tab names. Click a tab name and the full ribbon tab appears. When you click a command, the ribbon hides again. Then if you want to see the ribbon, turn off the Minimize the Ribbon checkmark. If you don't like switching between mouse and keyboard, you can also use keyboard shortcuts to choose commands. Press the Alt key to show the keyboard shortcut letters on the ribbon. Press a letter to choose the tab you want, for example, U for Resource. Then keep pressing letters until you launch the command you want, for example, P for Team Planner, and then P again on the shortcut menu. The Quick Access toolbar is separate from the ribbon, but it's great for commands you use all the time. It sits above the ribbon, but you can place it below the ribbon by clicking its down arrow and choosing Show Below the Ribbon. Or you can move it back by saying Show Above the Ribbon. Out of the box, the Quick Access toolbar has the Save, Undo, and Redo commands. You can turn on other popular commands like New, Open, and Save As. Or you can add any command you want so it's always available. The project ribbon organizes commands and makes it easy to perform many of your frequently used activities, like hiding or showing summary tasks. It contorts itself to fit the width of the project window, so don't be surprised if you see icon text disappear or sections replaced by a single button.